Are you looking to take your personal finances to the next level? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not, with your host, Joseph Sangl.
Well, we're so excited to have you on episode number 40 for the Monday Money Tip Podcast. That woohoo is from my co-host, Megan Hibbard. My name is Joe Sangl. Megan, how are you doing on this bright and shiny Monday?
Awesome.
I
need to come up with new words. Yeah. I feel like I say great a lot, but should branch out into awesome.
By this moment, your baby boy is going to be post-birth.
Yes.
By the time we release this, it's going to be amazing.
Woohoo.
It's going to be a very exciting moment. Everybody wants to meet this baby. And have you told everybody, I think you've told everybody what you're having, right, on the podcast?
Yeah, a little boy.
Yeah, a little boy. So we're super excited about that. And it's just proof, that life changes and it's going to cost money. And we're going to help you, hopefully, through each week of this podcast to take that next step, to constantly be challenged with new, right now relevant information to help you stay informed as a passionate person about money, to make sure that your dreams get funded. So thanks for joining us today. We're going to have a great topic for you today.
Yep.
Share everybody what it is.
All right. Our question for today is, it can be easy to get discouraged and burn out while on your money journey. Today, we're going to be sharing some money inspiration to help you along the way.
So the question is, how do I avoid being discouraged and how do I stay inspired all along my money journey?
Yep.
We're going to help you with that. But first, it is that great magical time of the podcast. Let's go.
Now it's time to get caught up with our current money events.
This portion of the podcast is sponsored by the I Was Broke, Now I'm Not 0% balance transfer credit card page. On this page, you can see how transferring a high-interest credit card balance can help you gain serious traction towards debt freedom, our topic for today's episode. For more information about today's current events relating to 0% balance transfer credit cards, be sure to visit the Next Steps 0% credit cards page at iwbnin.com.
That's right. And so the 0% balance transfer credit card offers is a way to transfer high interest credit card balances to 0%. Takes less than 15 minutes. You may get an offer in the mail, use that one, or you can check out the best ones that we found through our 0% balance transfers link under the Next Steps area of our website. And we're super excited about that. Now, today I'm going to talk about current stuff. I like to update this about quarterly in the podcast, and that is different rates that are happening.
Yep.
And so we always like to update on 3 different types of rates, and that's mortgage rates, savings rates, and CD rates. And so in the interest of keeping everybody up to speed on that, I want to give you the update. Now, the last time we updated was November 12th of 2018. And so let me give you the update on mortgage rates. If you're looking to buy a home or if you're looking to refinance, it's important to be aware of what's happening with rates. And the 30-year rate has actually went down slightly from last November. And it's went down from an average of about 4.70% down to a range of 4.50 to 4.625. And so generally mortgage rates for some reason run on the eighths, the 0.125s. So it's from 4 4/8 or 4.5 to 4 5/8. And 15-year rates, because there's a little bit less risk, right? You're promising to repay 15 years sooner. You get a credit for that, and they charge lower interest. Those rates are also slightly down from 4.04% average in November down to an average of 3 7/8 to 4%. So 3.875 to 4.00%. So that's actually a positive thing. That's going to allow the economy to continue to roll. Housing starts will continue to go very well. And the Federal Reserve, these rates are directly related to what the Federal Reserve sets rates at. And the Federal Reserve has kind of paused increasing rates. They're indicating they may increase them 1 or 2 times max in 2019. It can be very helpful for mortgage rates. They may not raise them at all. And so that has allowed these rates to remain in very favorable rate areas. Now, basic saving rates have changed. Megan, why don't you update everybody on what's happened with Marcus savings rates?
Yeah, so Marcus is up. So it was, last time we did this, it was 2.05, and now we are at 2.25.
Yes.
So that's awesome. And then we have Ally Bank, which is my personal favorite. And it is up from 1.9%, and it is currently at 2.20%.
That's a huge increase.
Yeah. And then last one is American Express, and it is up from 1.9% to 2.1%.
That's right. And so if you have your money stranded, and that's the right word, stranded, in a big bank savings account, paying you 0.04% interest, or you don't know what interest your savings account is making for you, man, you got to wake up and get your money to work for you. You work too hard for your money. It's time to make your money work for you. And your savings rates needs to at least keep pace with inflation. And a great place to do that is those 3 accounts, Marcus, Ally, and American Express Bank. Discover Bank's another favorite. You can find all those under the Next Steps area under banking. So the other one is CD rates. And CDs are certificates of deposit. And that's where they kind of lock up your money for a period of time. You can't really access it without a penalty, but you get better interest for it. And so right now, a 1-year CD rate is up from 2.58% in November to an average of 2.75%. And the 3-year, now this is all assuming you have a minimum of $5,000 in a CD, okay? That 3-year is the 2.85%, up from 2.77%. And the 5-year is 3.10%. It's up from 2.95%. So here's what I hear when I'm sharing all these numbers is you're getting more money for your money when you have money, and you're charging less money. You're being charged less money when you're borrowing for your house. This means very good things for cash flow at your household. You're making more money on your savings and paying less on your home mortgage. These are both very good things. So pay attention to that. We'll keep you abreast of this about once every quarter. And so that's it for current money events, the current money events section of the podcast.
We almost made it an episode without you singing, but we didn't. That's okay. Okay, so now we're going to share a success story. We're going to share a story from Julie, and I just can't. I can't.
I nailed singing that.
I do like that show.
I'm actually going to release a Christmas album this year.
Have you seen that show on Netflix?
If people will vote for it and ask for it. Huh?
Have you seen that show on Netflix?
What show?
Nailed it?
No.
Where they get these like amateur bakers to come make these huge elaborate things, and they're terrible.
That's a show on Netflix?
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch
so
it.
funny. I love it. They have a Christmas version of it. Yeah, it's great. Okay, so our success story today from Julie, and Julie says, "This has been a very enlightening process for me and long overdue. I can't believe how much of your book I can totally relate to so far, and it couldn't have come at a better time than tax season. My biggest financial win has been budgeting to predetermine where my money is going in advance, rather than my warped. My bad. I was like, wrapped doesn't make any sense. Warped concept of budgeting in the past, which was keeping track of where my money went. Thank you for sharing this FLE, renewing my perspective on budgeting, and giving me a kick to start my journey to financial freedom and living a fully funded life. I too am getting fired up."
Well, thank you, Julie, for sending us that story. We're super excited about it. Number one, it's not overdue. You may feel like it's overdue, but it's usually right at the right time. That information intersects with the time when you really recognize that it can be powerful for you. And then the work begins of applying it. So it sounds like you're making great new perspective of how the money can help you, how to manage your money and gain control of your finances. And that's awesome. That's what our goal is, to help people that are struggling with financial concepts to really be able to comprehend them, be able to apply them, and ultimately share them with others. So way to go, Julie. Thanks for sharing your success story. Fired up.
Awesome. All right, so now we're going to go back to our featured question. So just to remind you guys, the topic we're talking about today is it can be easy to get discouraged and burn out while on your money journey. So today we're going to be sharing some money inspiration to help you along the way.
Right? I love it.
Yeah.
Now, in the last episode, I billed this as the preacher version. I'm going to be fired up, and I'm going to inspire you to win with your money. This is going to be an episode for you to listen to every time that you are falling behind or falling off the wagon. This is going to be a get back on the wagon. Staple yourself to the wagon stapler edition of the podcast. I've got lots of names for it. I'm going to name it the Energetic Money, the Power Packed Financial version of the podcast, and Supercharged Money Journey. Are you fired up? You should see the YouTube edition of this. I seem to be being mocked.
I don't know what's happening.
This is the Fired Up How to Stay Inspired Financially episode.
You must have some extra boost of espresso in your coffee or
Hot dogs from Skin Dogs. If you're ever in the South Carolina, go to Skin Dogs. It's been on lots of TV stations, a lot of shows of, whatever the nooks and diners or whatever.
Diners, drives, and dives.
Yeah.
How do you like
Skins hot dogs. Come on down to South Carolina. I'll treat you to a free hot dog. All right, so here's the deal. I want to help you stay inspired, but you know what? Many of us have heard, the great, clean, awesome words from a silver-tongued speaker, and they're all awesome. But at the end of the day, it takes more than that to do this. It takes action. And so today I want to share with you ways to stay energized and excited, maybe not in the exuberant manner that I just exhibited because it seemed to frighten everyone in the podcast room and maybe some down the hallway, especially when I said Power Pack Financial Edition. He shoots, he scores.
I feel like you should do like wrestling with that.
It'd be awesome. I love it. My son hates it when I go into that voice. But let's talk about ways to stay inspired. By the way, Chris Hogan wrote a book called Retire Inspired. I like that. Buy that book, use it, apply it. But here's the first thing that I have found to keep me inspired, energized, and excited along the way is to regularly review your plans, hopes, and dreams. You got to regularly review these plans, hopes, and dreams. Whether that's through a conversation with your spouse or significant other, whether you've got them written down and you see them at a place where you pay your bills each month and you look at them, or whether it's a note you put on your calendar and when you go on summer vacation, this is something you're going to spend an hour just meditating on. It's a great way to stay energized and excited because many times, especially when we are pursuing a dream that's longer term, that's when we can falter and wonder, are we even making progress? When you have the sit-down review, you'll realize, man, I've had challenges, but we're still making progress. We're on track to achieve this goal. It can really energize you. Mm-hmm. And so I encourage you to do this at least semi-annually, every 6 months. Tell us about that.
We do it a couple times. So for us, New Year's is a great time. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about resolutions and that kind of stuff, but for us, it's big picture. And then with our birthdays, we do individually, like, what do we want to accomplish this year? So it's more like a year instead of, whereas New Year's could be long-term.
That's a good tip
and then we'll do, we'll talk about it like at our anniversary too. So my husband's actually calling me right now. So those times, so for us, we do multiple times a year, but specifically longer terms, we're kind of looking at those New Year's or like our anniversary, and then more short-term ones for our birthdays.
That's a great tip. So that's a good one, is maybe use the New Year's as an opportunity to kind of look at the longer-term dreams. And then during the birthdays, that's an opportunity to look at the one-year ones. Fantastic. Yeah. Another one is to celebrate milestones along the way, both small and large. Let me share some milestones. One of them could be achieving a rung on the I was broke, now I'm not ladder. It could be saying, hey, you know what? We achieved our emergency fund. Get fired up. That's something to celebrate.
Yeah.
Maybe you paid off all your debt except for your house. Get fired up. That's a massive, monumental milestone. Another one could be paying off a specific debt, paying off the car. It's a huge milestone. And maybe it's the achievement of one of your dreams. Maybe it was the dream to go to the Maldives, as you shared with us, and you get to check that off the bucket list. But you got to celebrate it. And being able to celebrate along the ways, and these celebrations are kind of celebrate in relation and scale to the accomplishment, right? If you just paid off all your debt, don't celebrate by buying a new car with debt.
Going into more debt.
Negative, right? But, I'll give you some examples of how I've done this. When we were paying off a debt, and when we were in our debt freedom journey, it took us 14 months, and we were paying off 4 debts. We had credit card debt, furniture debt, student loan debt, and a vehicle. Each time we paid one off, we took the monthly payment for that, and we went out to eat with it the next month. And then we put the next payment, we started applying it, or the next month started applying that payment to the debt in the debt snowball. But it allowed us to celebrate. And let me tell you, as we got closer and we paid off that third debt, that was a big chunk of money. We ate nicer meals. And then we paid it all off. That was awesome. And so we had a hog roast in our yard.
Oh.
It was great. 130-pound pig. Smoked it for 15 hours. Great celebration. Awesome. Cost us a couple $100 to do that. And it was a great celebration. And then when I paid off my house, well, I see a trend here. We celebrated with another hog roast. And not all of my neighbors knew what the celebration was about, but that's why we were doing that, is we wanted to have the celebration to just celebrate the achievement of a monumental landmark moment in our financial journey. So make sure you celebrate along the way. And one of them I've just recently celebrated is my daughter is going to college. She went to college. She's a freshman right now as the recording. She's finishing her freshman year. She's probably going to finish and have junior status because she basically knocked out all of her freshman year while she was in high school. But at the end of the day, I'm celebrating because we started a plan long ago when she was 4, a college savings plan and a 529 college savings plan. And I'm celebrating the fact that she was able to go to college and she's going to have no debt chasing her out of it. She's not going to know who Sally Mae Student Loan Company is.
Yeah.
And she's in the minority. But this is accomplishment of a dream Jen and I had for our daughter. And so one way we celebrated that is when my daughter went to college, we can use those funds for qualified educational expenses. And she is a graphic designer. So instead of buying looking at the cheapest computer, I was able to buy her the loaded out MacBook, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. I'll tell you what it is. $2,700 or something is what it is. Cost me. But we had the money for that.
Yeah.
And we celebrated by doing that. It was great to be able to give her that great gift. So celebrate along the way. You've got to celebrate along the way. Don't celebrate just the destination. You must celebrate through the journey because after all, it's the journey that is the value.
That's awesome. All right. So your next one is share your journey with others and invite them to join you.
And so, man, this is so huge, particularly if you have a bunch of broke friends. And don't we all have some broke friends? Do you have some broke friends?
Yes.
Is it hard to watch?
Yes.
It is. It's like, what is going on? What is you put the fun in dysfunction is what you.
It is. It is hard.
So one of the things that I say to address this, to help you stay inspired and energized and excited and to have power-packed financial journey is to invite your family into this journey with you. Invite your kids into it. If they know that you are doing a budget, don't simply tell them that's not in the budget. That's not in the budget. No, that's not. That doesn't teach your kids much. What teaches the kids is, hey, we're not going to put that in the budget because we want to help you pay for your college. We're not putting that in the budget because we want to go on vacation this summer as a family. Give them the reason why they're sacrificing the thing they really want right now. And when you do that, man, that will really invite them into the journey. Invite your friends to this. Here's what I found when I was broke. My friends kept wanting to go out to eat. Well, that cost me a lot of money. And I wanted to go eat with them. That'd be awesome after church or on Saturday evening, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So instead, I got them on this financial journey too. I got them with a budget. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, will you come over to our house for dinner? That is much cheaper and frankly, a lot more fun.
We do that a lot more than
Man, I had friends that lived on a lake. I'm talking about a ski lake, like a killer gravel pit ski lake, super deep, super flat, blazing fast. And we would eat and then just go swimming and skiing. It was awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah. Share the journey with others. Share it with your coworkers. And if you really want to hold yourself accountable, put it on a blog, share it on your Facebook post, on Instagram. Sharing that journey with others, huge way to do this.
All right. The next one is calculate net worth.
Calculate your net worth. So here's first I want to define net worth just to make sure everybody is on the same page. Net worth is calculated simply by saying, here's all the stuff I own, I possess, the value of my retirement accounts, my cars, my house, all the stuff in my house, whatever it is. And then you subtract everything that you owe, every loan that you owe, furniture loan, car loan, truck loan, boat loan, your mortgage. And the difference between those two, the total value of all that you own and what you owe is your net worth. Hopefully it's a positive net worth. In fact, when you look at people groups by age, it is only at age 35 that the median net worth turns positive in America.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. Median means 50% of Americans are below that, 50% are above it. That's crazy.
Wow.
But calculating your net worth is a great way to stay energized and excited because you may not realize it fully, but a lot of stuff is going on with your finances that is not cash flow related. You see, you're very aware of your payday. You know what your payday is. You probably right now know what your payday is to the penny, right? Do you? Or maybe close to the dollar amount? Do you know what you net home?
I mean,
You don't have to share the number.
I know a general ballpark.
You know a general ballpark.
But for me, it's not.
It's not a big event in your life.
On it. So,
So what she's indicating is she has margin in her life.
yeah.
And so that's really good. But you generally know what you bring home.
Oh, yeah.
Most people know that number. But what you generally don't understand is what's happening with net worth, because your retirement contributions hopefully have went up in value. The value of your home has probably went up in value. Your cars have declined in value.
Wah,
wah. And you've got other things going on with your finances that don't relate to money coming in and out of your house, but nevertheless change value for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you won't see the great progress you're making. For example, when you pay a mortgage payment every month, a good portion of that money goes to reduce what you owe. Right. Some is interest, but a lot of it is what you owe. You won't even see that unless you calculate net worth. Why? Because your home value is here. It didn't change, or maybe it went up a little bit. And what you owe went way down because you paid off some of it. And that shows a positive net worth move. But you just saw the cash flow, the negative side of it, the money leaving your life. Mm-hmm. But a bunch of it just changed from one pocket to another. And once you see that, you will learn the value that wealthy people know. So listen, podcast listeners, net worth allows you to become wealthy mindset. All the wealthy understand their net worth. And if you want to become wealthy, you need to calculate your net worth. We have a net worth calculator located on our website under tools, and I encourage you to calculate it at least annually. I update mine monthly because I've found the process to be so valuable, and I've done this easily for 8 to 10 years. So I encourage you to do that. And it will help you stay fired up and inspired as you go through your money journey. It'll be awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so our helpful tool today, or app, it could be either one, is Google Calendar or iCal. So you can set automatic reminders to do all of this stuff for you. So,
yeah.
How
so
great
you
is
can
that?
set it up. So when we list them all out, right, we think about all the things that we shared today. You could set up automatic repeating reminders on the frequency you choose, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, to do all these things. And that system, that simple system of setting up those reminders, you could do that today when you get to the office. You're listening to this podcast on the way to the office, just make it your first thing you do today when you sit down. Set up these reminders. Look at the show notes. We'll have them listed in there, the things to do and how often. Do that. And when it pops up, trust me, 6 months from now, you're not going to be thinking about calculating net worth. But if it pops up to do it every 6 months, you'll think out.
Right.
And just those little prompts, those, I call them trip points in your life, allow you to just become a great money manager.
Awesome. All right. And then we have a key financial quote for today. So it says, when you convert inspiration into action, you position yourself to prosper. Did you say that?
I did. I said that.
That's a good one.
When you convert inspiration into action, listen, brothers and sisters, you position yourself to prosper.
That's good.
And I want you to do that.
I
You
like
can do it. So that's it. Get inspired, get fired up. You can do this, but it doesn't matter if you had an entire episode of this podcast of me saying get fired up, 300 different ways, which sounds like a great idea to me. That won't fire you up. Think about it. That will just leave you like exhausted from hearing an energetic person, especially when you're frustrated with your finances.
Right.
What will help you is these systematic steps to take that will, even in the process of calculating your net worth, you will start to say, man, we made more progress than I thought. This stuff is working, and it'll really help power you to the next step. Make the journey awesome.
Okay, so for our next episode, we're going to talk about tax issues you should know. Bum, bum, bum.
Great.
So next Monday is tax day, so we're going to be sharing with you what you should know in regards to your 2018 taxes.
We're just going to say what you should do about taxes. Period.
To make it
now
evergreen.
and into the future. It's going to be great. Hey, listen, I'll tell you right now, even writing that topic of taxes and talking about tax issues sounds boring and bland. But the wealthy also understand tax implications. And since we're all going to be wealthy because we're listening to this podcast and learning together, you want to know this stuff so that you can position yourself to keep the money once you gain it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't all just go to the tax man.
Okay. So if you like today's episode, please help us to get the podcast to others who could benefit. You could do this by quickly rating our podcast and leaving us a review. These ratings and reviews will help us to make our podcast better for other listeners. And don't forget, on the last Monday of the month, we're going to be answering your top money questions. So if you have questions you'd like answered, please email us to info@iwbnin.com, and we could feature it on the podcast. Wouldn't that be exciting?
Yes.
And if you've implemented one of our tips, make sure you share your success story with us. We love those, and we love reading them. We love hearing them. We love sharing them with our team.
As we say, this podcast is fueled by your success. Yep. So we'll end this episode by firing you up. You can do this. We believe in you. We are here to help. It's why we offer free resources. It's why we've written some other resources that have a minor cost. It's because we want to invest in your success, and we believe that comes one day at a time, one right decision at a time, celebrating along the journey. You can do this. We'll see you next week. Tax day. Get fired up.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review and subscribe. And for more great content and to stay up to date, visit iwbnin.com. We'll catch you next time.